The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, thank you so much for attending our webinar this morning with North American. Just so greatly appreciate it. This is Sandy Vacanti, and I head up the Life Department here at IAMS. And again, greatly appreciate you taking time out of your schedule on this Monday morning to listen to a really important webinar with North American, great company and friend of ours. A couple house cleaning items before I turn it over to April Stastny with North American to go over their living benefits. Here at IAMS, here at IAMS, we have something called a business builder. And what we do is when you have a referred agent get contracted with us, we send you $50 as a thank you. Now, when your referred agent writes and places business with us, we're also going to give you 20 basis points on any piece of placed business from that point on, and that is indefinite. So that's not for 6 months or a year. As long as your agent continues to write and place business with IAMS or your referred agent, we'll continue to send you a referral check for 20 basis points on that piece of business. That does not come out of your commission. It does not come out of their commission. That comes from IAMS as a thank you for entrusting us with that referral. We also have something for all of our agents called a marketing reimbursement account. And what we do for every 100,000 of placed business that you submit with us, whether that's life, annuity, MedSap, long-term care, combination thereof, we put in $100 in a marketing reimbursement account. So kind of think of that account as a savings account that you can utilize for business expenses. So for example, if you submit an invoice to us for a seminar system or a computer that you needed to purchase, business cards, whatever it may be, we'll pay up to 50% of that invoice as long as that amount of money is in your marketing reimbursement account. That account continues to build. It transfers each year, so you don't have to be concerned about losing that money. Again, just by doing business with us, we'll put that money in that account for you. We also have something called a new producer builder, and what we do for all of our new agents contracted with us in the first 6 months of your being with IAMS, you place $100,000 of business with us. Again, that's life, annuity, MedSap, long-term care, combination thereof. You can choose a 2-year producer website, or you can choose a $750 cash bonus. If you'd like to hold off and you think, gosh, I'm going to do $300,000 of business, place business with IAMS in my first 6 months, you can choose a $2,000 marketing reimbursement, which is that account that we just spoke of, a $1,500 gift card, or you can choose a Social Security program and 3,000-piece mailing. If you'd like to hold off on that because you think, gosh, I'm going to go gangbusters my first 6 months, I'm going to place $500,000 of business, you can choose a 4,000-piece mailing and seminar coaching with Dave Pimper, a 5,000-piece mailing and seminar coaching with Matt Gill, two top producer of ours, or you can choose my favorite, which is a Ritz-Carlton travel rewards package where you plan your own personal getaway. Again, that's in addition to your commissions. It does not come out of your commissions at all. This comes from IAMS as a big thank you for doing business with us. We also have very strong back office support, whether you are looking at case design assistance, any type of quotes, whether they're life or annuity, forms, any expertise for, sales ideas and coaching. We set you up on paperless contracting, so you don't have to complete any additional contracting paperwork. And what I think is really important is that submission to commission. And what I mean by that is when you submit an application to IAMS, we scrub that application, make sure nothing is missing. On the life site, order any exams and labs that may be needed. And then we submit to the carrier the same day, and we follow that application through the underwriting process. We touch that every 3 days just to make sure that that case stays on track to get you paid as quickly as possible. We also have a strong marketing team, whether you're speaking with Jacob, Sean, Jill. If you have questions or would like any handouts or flyers completed, postcards, any professionally written letters. If you have a logo that may be a little tired and need that refreshed, we can get that done for you. Business cards, website, we'll create and manage a website for you. Any type of online newsletters or email marketing. And really big right now is that social media advertising. So for example, Facebook is real big with advertising right now. If you're not familiar with on how to do that and you need assistance, we can get that done for you. So please contact anyone in our on our creative side, and they'll be more than happy to assist you with that. We also have a strong website, and that website address is www.IAMSinc.com. I am in this website every single day. This is where when you call for a quote, whether it's term or UL, this is where I go to run it. You can utilize that same thing. You can pull forms off this. You can look at current industry links, any type of annuity grid, whether you're looking at our top 5 fixed annuities or whether you're looking at annuities with best income riders. It's just a great source if you're looking at webinars and you want to look at our webinar schedule or calendar or pull up any recorded webinars, or our sales resource library where you're able to look at different videos, pull handouts, anything like that. Our website has that. Can't stress enough for you to get registered and take a look at what we have to offer. We also have a wealth management side, and I'm going to put out a poll question on this. And this is just by answering yes, it's just stating that you want some additional information. So when the DOL ruling came out, we thought it was really important for our agents to be able to capture any revenue or sales from their clients. So we started a wealth management team. And again, the reason we did that is to help increase any managed money fees. You're able to offer a full range of products and services so your clients aren't having to go outside of you for that. And of course, you're viewed differently by your clients. You're viewed as a fiduciary. So with that DOL ruling, there's been many changes. A lot has been either delayed or discontinued. However, the DOL ruling still is not done. So we expect some more changes on that. If you're concerned, gosh, I don't want to get a Series 65. How else am I able to capture these funds or these monies or sales? Our wealth management team can let you know how to do that. So I can't stress enough to check yes on that poll question. We'll get you out some information and answer any questions that you may have. We also have, sorry, I'm having little computer issues here. Our Life and Annuity Academy. Again, another poll question. I can't stress enough. April was just at this. We had North American co-sponsor with us. This is an all-expense paid trip. So we cover airfare, lodging, meals. It is a 2-day training. Our next one scheduled will be probably February or March. We go over different sales ideas and strategies. We go over indexed annuities and how they work, what would be the best time to utilize those, any current industry threats and trends that will affect you now or what's coming down the pipe in the future. We also go over any client objections, how to overcome those, seminar systems, what's the best type to use, whether you're doing cookies and coffee in a library or whether you're doing a more formal setting with a sit-down dinner. We go over large life case marketing, so any type of single premium life, overfunding of a whole life or IUL, case design assistance, wealth transfer, again, annuity sales and topics. We pay for everything. We had close to 1,000 agents register, and we take between 35 and 40. Can't stress enough, by answering yes, you're just asking for additional information on our Life and Annuity Academy. We also have here at IAMS, so in addition to your commissions and the carriers trips, we have a trip of our own. It's called our Marketing Summit, and that will be next year, August 25th through the 29th in Naples, Florida, uh, at the Ritz-Carlton. Great opportunity for you and a guest to attend. We have long invitational periods. We want to make sure that we give you plenty of time to attend and become part of the IAMS family. So our invitational period is January 1st of 2018, and it runs all the way through June 30th of 2019. The only way to get there is, of course, be contracted with IAMS and place business with us. And you can do that with a combination of either $3 million of annuity premium, $1.5 million of Medicare SEP premium, 2.25 of single premium life, $250,000 of life target premium, or $600,000 of long-term care premium. Again, it would be for you and a guest. It's next year in Naples, Florida at the Ritz-Carlton, August 25th through the 29th. So what I'm going to do now is change this over to April with North American. She's going to do a fantastic job in regards to the living benefits with them. So April, if you'd like to take over, that would be great.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with all of you. Yes, as Sandy said, my name is April Stastny, and I am a sales development specialist here at North American, and I work out of our Fargo, North Dakota office. A little fact is, if you're wondering, yes, it gets very cold, sometimes -50, which is crazy, but it also is very nice. For instance, today we're going to get into the 60s, which I love. All right, let's go ahead and be respectful of your time, and let's get started on the living benefits that we just launched on all of our term products. This next slide here is our disclosures that do apply to the presentation in its entirety. Now, this is interesting is where it all started. The story here is that in 1967, a small South African family left home to visit friends in Cape Town for a Saturday afternoon tea. Not wanting to arrive empty-handed, they stopped along the way at a roadside bakery. A few minutes later, 25-year-old Denise and her mother exit the bakery and cross the street, and they're struck by a passing motorist. Denise's mother is killed instantly, but Denise is rushed to a nearby hospital where, despite every effort, she's declared brain dead later that day. One can only imagine the pain felt by her father, who had witnessed the tragedy and was suddenly faced with the loss of both his wife and daughter. He was approached by a young doctor. The doctor's name was Christian Bernard, who reportedly said, "We've done our best, and there is nothing more that can be done to help your daughter. There is no hope for her." And this led that doctor making a bold proposal that Mr. Derval could do Bernard's team and humanity a great favor if he would let them transplant his daughter's heart. Derval simply responded, "If there's no hope for her, then try to save some other person's life." Now, the following day, this is so remarkable, a team of 30 physicians operated for 9 hours. Lewis had once been healthy. He had served in the military, had led an active life and weightlifting prior to his decline of health. By 1967, he had been diagnosed as a diabetic and had suffered 3 heart attacks that led to congestive heart failure. I bet you guys can guess what happened. His doctors gave him only a few months to live, and what ended up happening is that he was the perfect match for that heart. The transplant worked. Denise's heart was able to beat new life into Lewis. Now, unfortunately, complications did set in, and Lewis did die of double pneumonia. He lived for only about 18 days, but that was long enough to convince the world that a fully successful heart transplant was possible. Now, the reason why I tell you all of this information is that, despite the changes and improvements that products have and that they hold a unique place in insurance, What we think is that critical illness insurance is something that is an essential component. So what are we going to do today? Today we're going to discuss why term insurance, the need for coverage, and then we're going to talk about our specific Advantage term products. Of course, term insurance is for a defined period of time. While it may be extended or converted, it is generally a method of obtaining coverage in a duration that aligns with a client's needs for a competitive price. We all know the odds of paying out a death benefit are low, but with the uncertainty of death makes coverage critically important. Now, do your clients want the old term insurance or the new term insurance? That's something that I would recommend that everyone today, that you ask your clients, do you want the old or the new? And they may ask, well, I don't know, what's the difference? New term is life insurance that you can use while you're living. So you can see on the right-hand side, it says new term is for death benefit, but also includes critical, chronic, and terminal illness should you need to use it prior to a premature death. So who will it be? Statistically, 1 out of 4 will be critically injured before the age of 65. So 1 out of 4. So you see in this picture here, there's 8 people. 2 of these people will be critically injured before the age of 65. So take a look here at these first 3, the big 3. Every year, 1.4 million people are diagnosed with cancer. Every 34 seconds, someone has a heart attack, with 785,000 people suffering a new coronary attack every 40 seconds. This is all from the lifehappens.org website, which is a fantastic website if you haven't heard or been there. Now, here, the first bullet, and that is that a heart attack and stroke cause the highest out-of-pocket expenses. And that's just the average out-of-pocket costs. What's the event, or what if the event is more than average? What about lost income? Now, here's just a graph that only 2% of term policies pay a death benefit. But as you can see, the chances of paying a critical illness, that could be substantially higher. So on the graph here, we're showing some smoker and non-smokers, male and female, at ages 25 and ages 55. So the chances of occurrence for cancer, heart attack, and stroke are substantially higher than, the chances of paying out that death benefit on a term policy. Now, here's another interesting fact, is that chronic illness, those average costs for a semi-private nursing home room and private nursing home room are substantial. Almost $8,000 a month and almost $7,000 a month. That's a lot of money. So then you add in, what about assisted living, home health aid, adult daycare? Adult daycare is about $70 a day. Now, here's where we come to a solution, our Advantage term. So let's just talk about the details, what living benefits, its competitively priced, and convertibility. Now, if anyone today on the webinar, if you're taking notes, write down convertibility, North American, and I'm going to tell you what to write down when we get to that bullet point, okay? So we offer 10, 15, 20, and 30-year periods. Okay, those are the numbers. Now, here are the ages that we go to. The 10-year goes up to 75, the 15-year to 70, the 20-year up to 65, and the 30-year up to 55. Okay, and this is important because you can convert the term policy during any level, any period, like so for the 10-year, the whole 10 years, or up to age 75. Now, banding, we do have some banding listed here on the screen. So if you were thinking about getting a policy of, 200,000, you may want to consider even just going up to the 250 because we do have some banding there. Here is what I wanted to get to. The best part of this is the living benefits of critical, chronic, and terminal. Okay, so real quickly, terminal illness, the maximum face amount that can be accelerated per policy. So this is what I would write down. The maximum amount that can be accelerated per policy is $2 million, okay? Now, of that, here are the details on terminal illness, 24 months or less to live. The premiums are waived when the benefit is elected, and the minimum is 10,000 or 10% of the death benefit, and the maximum is 90%. So if you were going to take away anything about our terminal illness, I would write that the maximum that you can accelerate for terminal illness is 90% of your death benefit. The chronic illness, this is if you can't perform 2 of your 6 activities of daily living, and they're listed here on the screen: bathing, continence, dressing, eating, transferring, or toileting. The premiums are going to reduce based on your lowered face amount if you do accelerate. So if you cannot perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living or have severe cognitive impairment, you can accelerate your death benefit for chronic illness, and here are some of the details. 24%, that is per year. 24% of your death benefit, up to $2 million, can be accelerated for chronic illness, and it is the minimum of either 5% of your face amount or $50,000. Now let's look at a quick little example on a payout of a critical or chronic. So because of underwriting at the time of claim, so with North American on our living benefits, we're going to underwrite at the time of claim. The way that payouts are calculated, we provide an opportunity for much larger critical and chronic payments. So maximum accelerated amount for chronic is $240,000, and the maximum acceleration amount for critical is $900,000. But let's look at a 60-year-old who has, let's say they're maybe in the moderate impact area. And let's look at if they were, this is a male, age 45, and they were going to accelerate 240. If they're at moderate impact, they'd get $96,000 paid to them. Now, chronic benefits, they might be less or they could be more. They are consistent with how most of the competitors do it, even the ones that charge an additional fee for our living benefits. And that's really important. So otherwise, I would write down on your notepad is that North American's living benefits, there is no charge for them. They're automatically on the term policy. Let's take a look at critical. These are 5 triggers. We have cancer, heart attack, stroke, transplant, and kidney failure. So those are the 5 triggers that would allow for an acceleration of death benefit for critical illness. Again, no additional premium. And then here's the details on the critical. 90% is a max. The minimum is the minimum of 10% or $100,000. And again, it's going to be discounted based upon underwriting at the time of election. So here's where we go into how does this fare with all the other competitors. So at the top, we have North American, and this is for a 20-year term on a gentleman who's 45 at preferred non-tobacco. And with our Advantage term, the premium is $408, okay? All the other ones, you can see if it includes or does not include the critical and chronic illness. For example, look with me at line 3 where it says AIG. Their premium is $392. However, if you wanted the critical and chronic portion on your term policy with AIG, then the premium is $428. So it's really important to know if you're paying for those or if they're automatically included without an increase in premium when you're looking at term policies with living benefits. Now, term isn't all that we offer. We have an entire spectrum of life insurance products from a high death benefit leverage focus on the left all the way to a single premium life product on the right. And then, of course, everything in between. So don't just think of North American as an accumulation IUL company. Definitely take a look at us for other cases as well. lastly, of course not leastly, is the stability of North American. And this is why you choose North American. We have A+ ratings from AM Best, the S&P, and Fitch, all A+ ratings. In addition, we have private ownership. This is something that I take a lot of pride in, being an employee of North American. We are all employee owners. So our private ownership definitely allows us to stand out from the competition, excuse me, and it just allows us to be unique in several different ways. At this time, Sandy, do you want to check to see if we have any questions, or if anyone's thinking of anything? Feel free to let me know. I'd love to answer anything that the agents are asking today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to change it back over to me just so I can do another poll question. And that's if you're not contracted with North American, let's make sure we get you contracted. Great time to ask some questions. We have one question. How do the discounts work on claim?
Yeah, you bet. So when it goes on claim, and this is something too that we can talk more about in a separate conversation, but they're going to go ahead and they're going to request those doctor records. They're going to request APS records, and they're going to look at what all happened, or what is all of the case specifics to the illness or to the trigger that the client has had happen to them. So if it, was a heart attack, if it was more of a simple or a less severe heart attack, you're going to have an acceleration based upon that. And then, of course, that goes all the way to moderate or severe. So it's all going to be based upon what exactly happened to the client.
Let's see what other questions we may have. So what makes an accelerated benefit claim not subject to income tax or 1099?
Yeah, you bet. So this is considered, it's a life insurance policy, right? And what you're doing is you're accelerating a part of the death benefit while you're living. So it's not considered any other income. It's accelerating your life insurance policy. And so when you do pass on, when you die, that amount is going to be deducted from the death benefit. So that is why it's not, you don't pay income tax on it, because it's an acceleration of death benefit from your life insurance contract.
I also wanted to say before we went to this other question, with North American, that is up to $1 million in death benefit. That's simplified issue up to age, what is that, 50? April?
Yep, ages 18 to 50, yep, can go through non-fluid underwriting. The one caveat is that it has to be an EAP. So you can't do a paper application. It has to be an EAP, and yes, you have the opportunity for non-fluid underwriting.
And the question is, how does that right-away app work?
You bet. So right away, I would write this down too. That's a fantastic question. Right away is an underwriting process. So it's not a way to submit business. Right away is an underwriting pathway. So how you get eligible for that is that you do North American's Simple Submit, which is our electronic application. And that is powered by iPipeline. So you simply go out to iPipeline, you complete an EAP, and you can run a quote on iPipeline as well. You do an electronic application, and if your client is 18 to 50, up to $1 million of death benefit, and they answer 2 questions on the EAP, they answer them no, that will automatically go through the right-of-way process. You don't have to select anything. You don't have to do anything. It'll automatically go the non-fluid pathway.
And then wanted to remind everyone before we get off that we are offering with North American double trip credits. So any North American app that you write in place with IAMS, you will get double trip credits. So great opportunity with a great company to get some business in the door and help you get closer to our trip. I don't see that we have any additional questions. Wanted to again thank everyone for attending. if you've registered for this webinar, as you have, we will send out the recorded link. Myself and I believe April will be getting in contact with each of you, asking if you have any additional questions, want any additional quotes. Again, this is Sandy with IAMS. My number is 800-255-5055. Again, thank you so much, everyone. So greatly appreciate it, and I hope you all have a great weekend or week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.